Oh, Martha, Martha, Martha. You guys, it is not my intent to make this a movie review, but I saw Batman vs. Superman last night, and it's been on my mind, and I just have to vent about it because I've been thinking about it all night. Me and my friend Marshall even spent 20 minutes after we saw it, like just kind of venting about all these things. And as much as what I'm about to say is kind of like a rant about that movie and a critique of that movie, I want it's more so a critique of just Hollywood and where Hollywood is in 2016, and how it just feels like they know now that they could profit off geek culture at whatever cost. It doesn't matter. You can make any kind of movie. We're gonna go see it. The money's already been spent. This video doesn't even matter how much people don't like it because they're profiting. Um, I moved out here as a screenwriter. I went to film school. I have a really deep respect and passion for movies. But I think this is a perfect example of why I've been seeing movies less and less and less. And it like kind of relates to something my friend Matt used to, so like he told me a long time ago. When he was in his late 30s, he would get cast as like these older roles, and it's like it doesn't make sense if you're living in a place where you have access to anything. You can cast a 60-year-old. Why would you cast a 36-year-old to play a 60-year-old? And I think the same is true in this instance, just in general about the screenplay. Everything comes down to the screenplay. In fact, I'm not sure why more people don't read screenplays, even in film school, like read them and understand them. Because if you have access, you have the money, you have the studio, there's no excuse not to have. You even have the source material. You have all the comic books in the world at your disposal. There's no excuse for having a screenplay that lacks in any capacity. I mean, this story, it has no consequence. There's no consequence. People get hurt. It's like, oh well, they're better, or like, which is fine. There's battles and explosions, and it's obvious like this whole city's being torn apart, and it's like without consequence. You're killing, in any reality you'd be killing thousands if not millions of people, and it's like we're not going to deal with that. That's just kind of background noise. There's no physics, there's no rules or laws of nature. There's a very confused reality, which is like fine if you're gonna live in this world. Just why are you making this movie? Why are you telling this story? And it build in there some point where we just understand like why there is no consequence or why we're defying the laws of physics. There's very little character development, and the character development that does exist is also kind of without consequence. Like Lex Luthor's character like goes in this direction that like you could tell they're trying for something, but it's like it doesn't fit within the realm of the rest of what's being told, because there's no real character arc for anybody. There's no real story involved, and like I don't want to. It's hard to talk about this without making spoilers, but there is one pivotal kind of moment that revolves around this idea of Martha, and it's like if that's your thing, if that's that's the pendulum on which all of this swings. That's your story. That should be your script. That everything else should kind of just blossom out of that. But it doesn't, and it's so frustrating as a writer and as a person who I didn't expect a masterpiece. I'm not a big comic book guy. I'm not a big action movie guy. So I didn't go in expecting a masterpiece, but I at least expected it to be held together by something. And I actually walked out thinking like maybe there wasn't even a script. Maybe it was just based on a pop-up book. And I would rather have spent $15 on that pop-up book because at least that has depth and you can like rediscover those worlds and be like wowed every time, like, oh my god, yes. But like you can't just throw CGI all over the place and expect like that I'm just gonna be like, oh wow, That only gets you so far. There's I'm on fire. I'm on fire. There's a moment in the movie where Lois Lane, who I do not understand, my friend Marshall made the point early. He was like, why is she here? Why is she here? She keeps showing up in high heels. Like, what are you doing? She made a decision early on in the movie, and I was like, why is she doing that? And then 20 minutes later, she came back to resolve that thing, and it put her in danger, and Superman had to come save her. And I'm like, oh, right. She didn't do that thing early on because it was an earnest character choice. She did that thing early on because the writers realized, oh, we have to put her in danger so that at this point, Superman can come save her and he'll be distracted, blah, blah, whatever. And so this thing happens. But it's so obvious that it's not a thing that Lois Lane did because she wanted to do it. I'm done. That's all I got. I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully.